Okay, it's now live.
Okay, it's just now come on, honey. It's on now.
Checkered flags out, P2.
Okay, so we finally got the stream going. Gotta love YouTube with changing things around on how to get things started and all that. So sorry for a little bit of a delay there. We have about 6 cars. I qualified P2. This is the Nurburgring in Germany.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
So now we're going to wait just a few seconds here, and then we're going to get started with the race. Trying to balance all the technical challenges on the. So we have about six or 7 cars. Let's check here and see what we look like. We've got 6 cars running the race. I've qualified as P2. Alex Premat didn't join in time to get a lap in, so he'll be just jumping right to the start. But yeah, so like I was saying, I've had a little bit of a challenge because YouTube has been switching over their streaming capability, and it has caused a few issues. So sorry if it was a bit of a delay to get started there. We've got a few minutes here. I'm going to show you a little bit around the track. So first of all, this is the car that I'll be driving. It is a Porsche GT4 Club Sport, which is a purpose-built race car that's based on the Porsche Cayman 718S Porsche. So if you see a Porsche 718 Cayman S mid-engine car production, that's what this race car is based on. But it is a purpose-built race car, so they build it up with a tubular frame and sequential transmission and special engine and everything. But the outside of the car looks like the 718. If we go up to a high level view, this is a view out over the entire track. For those of you who had the chance to join last week, this is the longest track in the world. It's 14.7 miles, has 154 turns, and what we're looking at here down from the blimp is the back straightaway. The cars, depending on the car, these cars will reach about 165, maybe 170 miles an hour on this back straightaway, coming into then a couple of turns. And it goes through all the countryside here in northern Germany. The track was built in 1927. It's gone through all kinds of changes and modifications and improvements. But they really are kind of limited because now with the houses built around it and built into the hills, they really can't extend the track or do runoff or anything like that. That's why this track is no longer used for Formula One, because it's not considered safe enough, because they can't add the runoff. If we look at a couple of the turns here, this is in the front straightaway. I was just going to see if I could find a turn that had one of the cars on it. That's a view of our car in pit lane. You can actually see here with the simulator, we actually even have some fans. Doesn't look like they're socially distancing and no masks, so we can tell this is a simulation. It's not real life. um, but anyway, um, the um, uh, the car. Let's jump in the cockpit of the car. So for folks that haven't joined before, this is the inside of the Porsche club sport race car. Pretty sparse and with a lot of carbon fiber to keep the weight down. And the transmission is paddle shift. And it has a 6-speed transmission sequential, which means that once you start racing, you don't actually use the clutch. The transmission auto syncs and allows us to shift the transmission both up and down without depressing the clutch. Um, let's see what else we got here. If we look kind of from a scenic view, this will take us around the track. You can see it's nice simulation of a bright and sunny day in Germany, which is not really realistic for the Nurburgring. The Nurburgring is very notorious for having extremely rainy weather, and probably the most famous race at this racetrack is the 24 Hours of Nurburgring, and it's obviously a 24-hour race, and invariably in the middle of the night they will get very strong rainstorms that come through. The track is located in the very north west corner of Germany, very close to the border with Belgium. So it's very much out in the middle of nowhere. And it was actually a project that after World War One, the folks in this area, after they returned from World War One, the community decided to band together and build a racetrack as their way to get people back to work and have something that would attract tourism into the area. And so that was really the reason for the construction of lane. I guess we're jump back in the car, and we are getting close here. Back in the cockpit. The clock that I see is we've got 3 minutes before the race will start, which again, I need to talk to Alex because this seems to happen where the practice time gets extended and we end up really delaying the start of the race. So I guess the good news is that what happens is that they throw the checkered flag for the qualifying right at 10:30 Eastern, but because of the length of the track, they actually have to wait up to 7 or 8 minutes after that, because if people are out doing their last qualifying lap, it will take them almost 8 minutes to finish the lap. And so the way qualifying works is that as long as you cross the start finish line and you start a lap before the qualifying session is over, you're entitled to finish that lap. And so that means here, compared to every other racetrack in the world, it will take almost 8 minutes before after they throw this checkered flag before the last car could finish. So it just drags things out. As opposed to a lot of the racetracks that we have run on this year in the simulator, Lime Rock, it's less than a minute per lap. So quite a difference between less than a minute per lap and, approaching almost 10 minutes a lap. So let's double check and see what cars we have. So we still have 6 cars. Everything is good to go. And yeah, and so for those folks who were able to watch the race last week, unfortunately, right toward the end, I had to pit and get fuel because I was almost out of fuel. And so for this session, we've actually added more fuel to the car, and so that will eliminate that need to do that last minute pit stop. And it just means the car is a little heavier at start because I cut it a little close, and with some of the things that we ended up having happen, I actually consumed more fuel than what had been forecast, and so this time I just took on additional 2 gallons of fuel so that we should have plenty of fuel. It's actually forecasting that I could do 8 laps with that amount of fuel, and actually this race is only going to be probably 4 or 5 laps. So should have plenty of fuel. Yeah, so it should be fun. We're less than a minute before we grid for the race and get going. And I really appreciate everybody who can join. I know for those folks on the Eastern time, this does end up getting to be kind of late. But I guess the drivers that are on the East Coast like it to be late because then they can kind of get their kids to sleep and get the things settled down and then do the racing. So it's always that competing objectives around getting what different folks are wanting. So we have folks on the West Coast. Roger Eagleton, who was on the race last week, is actually in California this week doing an IMSA race. And so he will miss today. He joined from Hawaii. And so
that's the end of the session, B2.
And so he won't be joining today. Okay, so now we're going to grid up, and can see in front is Benjamin Ricci, who is P1, and then there should be a car pop up right in front of me. Or actually, no, I'm P2, so we're good to go here. We're just waiting for some other cars to join. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. Got Travis behind me, and then Alex in fourth. Okay. Benjamin just dropped off. That's not good for him.
Minutes. The air temp is 65 Fahrenheit. Alright, Mark, get ready. Go, go, go! Great start, well done. Is now 3.7 seconds.
your right. Still there. Still there. Clear right.
That's Alex Premat, my coach, co-driver in some races, competitor in this race, but Le Mans champion, so.
Ricci is getting closer. The gap's now 3.0.
I don't know what happened to Benjamin Ricci on the start. It was almost like his computer freaked out or something.
Left side. Clear left.
Not gonna get in his way. He is wicked fast.
Okay, Mark, you're reeling Ricci in. The gap is 0.8.
Okay, now we're going on back straightaway, so this is where we get super fast. And the two cars in front of me are both professional race car drivers, so there you go. So not bad for an old guy. About 165 miles an hour, a lot of bumps.
P3. gap to Ricci ahead is increasing. It's now 1.2.
Yeah. There's Ricci trying to take Alex.
You're pulling away from the guy behind. The gap's now 15 seconds.
This is a really tough section because the car bounces around and loses traction.
The gap in front is now 0.9. The gap in front is now 2.5.
back on the straightaway again. I'm about 6 seconds off of Alex and Ricci, and there. Looks like Alex just passed Benjamin, so let them battle it out.
The next car is Ricci.
So let them battle it out. Hopefully they have a little mishap, and then I'll sneak in. But I want him to do it as we come on the last lap, really battle it out. Okay, let's go from 160 down through.
The leader has just done a 7:25.4 seconds. The gap to Ricci ahead is increasing. It's now 6.6. Your lap time was 7:31.7 seconds.
The thing about this track is that there's so many turns and it's so long that you just have to be patient.
Yellow flag.
They just crashed. They're gone. Maybe they went off. Oh, Alex did something because he's... I'll get a little air here.
gap to Ricci ahead is increasing. It's now 4.7 seconds.
This track is so long that you need a snack in the middle of the lap.
Yellow flag, caution. Ricci is closing in. The gap is now 6.2 seconds. Alright Mark, we're halfway through. Fuel's going to be tight. We're not sure you'll make it to the end. You're leading.
That's what Alex is waiting for me to do. screw out.
That's 20 minutes to go.
Car right, clear right.
Come on, man, defend harder.
Car left. Still there. Clear left. Okay, Mark, keep piling on the pressure. He'll make a mistake. You've used half your fuel. The gap to Ricci ahead is increasing. It's now 2.4.
Yeah, it is increasing because I just blew that turn. Self-inflicted. Quint, can
15
you
minutes
pass
left. That's
up
15 minutes.
some of that popcorn? Because I kind of need a snack. This thing is crazy long. So,
B3. Okay, Mark, you're reeling this guy in. The gap's now 2.3. This is terrific. Exactly what we came here for. 10 minutes to go. That's 10 minutes left. Gap to Ricci ahead is now 1.4 seconds.
All right. Just need to hang in there for 2 laps, I think. One lap to go.
Okay, Mark, one more to go. Keep it together, we'll be on the podium. That lap time was 7:28.2.
Left side. Clear left.
Well done, Mark. Good pass. Eyes front. ahead has now decreased to
Right side. Hold your line. Clear right.
the gap ahead is now 1.4.
Caught that too fast. Now it's the race to the finish because Alex has to catch me because he crashed.
Okay, Mark, you've got 10 minutes of fuel remaining.
Alex must be in the pits because his time is really clocking up. So he had such a major crash that he's out. And yeah, that's cool. He just dropped because he crashed and he's in the pits and he's not going to get repaired in time. So looks like we're going to take position number 2. Respectable against 2 pro drivers. I still wish, Clint, you would have brought up some popcorn because I'm kind of hungry now.
Podium finish. Nice one.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I definitely appreciate you tuning in and staying with us. And yeah, so now you got to see a few laps around the famous Nurburgring in northern Germany. And I'll send out an email later this week or next week as to what's going to happen for next week. So appreciate you joining, and have a great day. Thanks for watching.